Act 3, 6, Tip of the Iceberg. So this is by far the most demanding mission in the underground sequence, because you're being introduced to the advanced legionnaires of the Locust Army, the Theron Guards. They are a very dangerous, very resilient upgrade to the drones. They come equipped with lancers that can chainsaw you, and torque bows that will kill you instantly regardless of where they hit you. They have really good aim. Never ever test them when they are glowing a torque bow. It's just a bad idea. And understand that they take kind of around twice as much damage as a standard drone. So if you're close to them, they're going to take an absolute armada before they go down. And I'm going to use the torque bow to alleviate that problem, because the torque bow is a one-hit kill on pretty much anything except for Ram, because Ram's a dick. Right here, this cover, you can shoot them in the leg if you can't see any other part of their body, but you have to be quick because the Therons can tell you're aiming at them and they'll just start moving. But they're such an interesting enemy, and it has to be said, right, of all the games, do you fear the Theron Guards in any of the other Gears of Wars the way you fear them in this one? Because in this game, they meant business. When the Therons turned up, shit got serious. Like, I don't like pushing the left-hand side of this encounter, because when you go up close with the rest of them, it's really easy to die. And I know just because of how much I've played this sequence. So for me, I always respect Theron Guards as much as I can. And because of that inner respect, just then you heard them talking. I think that's a second spawn. So now I've triggered it, I'm going to back up here so we can then proceed to start shooting them again. And using the torque bow here is not a problem, because every Theron Guard is pretty much going to refill it when we go up there. And if you do this intelligently, you can get through this quite quickly. This is an area where you can easily get stuck, but thanks to this strategy of baiting them out and torque bowing them, it was another sequence that I got very quickly. And it's always good when you get sequences quickly when you know they can take a long time. But the only part of Gears of War 1 that ever takes a long time is occasionally the Troika on the top of the train, because that section can be really dodgy, but I've got a super good strategy, so it's never been a problem. But then Ram can just be an asshole. If you get bad Ram, and he keeps on downing Dom, and he keeps on sending Krill after you, and he keeps on sprinting towards you, and the goddamn Reavers are super accurate, like, Ram can be really, really tough. But it took me about 10 minutes on this recording, which was nice. I didn't get optimal path that I wanted, and there were a few times where he got stuck for me, and I restarted because I didn't want to get the very famous glitch that makes Rom a pussy. But Rom is so eager to stand in that glitch that half the time I don't know why people don't use it, because he gives it to you. Like one of the attempts I did, Ram bobbled and bounced up onto the cover and then he couldn't move. So I had a Ram that literally couldn't move. It was so weird. So he just stood on top of a piece of cover, and it was just the dumbest thing. But I got him. I just wish I could showcase the Nasher a bit more, because the Nasher does the most damage against Ram. The only problem is if he has his Krill shield up, it doesn't do anything. But here's another Theron doing what Therons do best, being a dick, taking a massive amount of damage. And there's Cole being revived, so that's the end of that first spawn, or that second spawn, I think. But there are more enemies here, guys. It's not over with yet. So pick up the torque bow and know that when you go around the other side of this, there's going to be more enemies. But there is a torque bow just there. I don't know exactly where the spawn is here. That might have been it then. Did you hear it? Notice how the music stopped, then when we pushed this way, you heard a scream? That might be the spawn. But that guy is terrible at cover, so he dies immediately. Now we can just keep pushing forward. If you see any torque bow glow, you just need to stop. One of those guys has a Nasher, the other guy has a Lancer, so we don't have to worry about those Therons. You can also hear the torque bow too, which is really, really powerful. Hearing a torque bow is almost times better than seeing it, because you know when he's winching it. Boom, I think that guy had one. But do you see how high his body parts went? It's so satisfying. I love that game. I love that about this game. Like, I love the gore in this game as well. The blood in this game is pretty much black, and then it's got a weird, like, super luminous red outline, and it makes it look really weird and stylized. And I'll always remember when they talked about in Gears of War 2 changing it, because they wanted it to look different, and then when you played Gears of War 2, it just looks super generic and red. Whereas in this game, it looks really different. It kind of adds to that mystique of the game just being really strange and in the future and not of this world. Because everything about this game is stylized, so the blood made sense to look so ridiculous. Like when you chainsaw people on this and the screen gets covered in the blood and it looks awesome. And then you chainsaw people on some of the later games and it just looks like crap. I don't get it. Maybe it's nostalgia and preference and bias and, you know, I don't know, but I just feel like this game has such a charm, and it still does, because I played it very recently and it exuded it from every pore. But thank you for watching, and you take care now.